This week on Retro Movie Geek.
Don Johnson is Jerry Beck, LAPD.
You're not a safe man to put on the streets, Mr. Beck.
He doesn't like trouble. He is trouble.
If I get pulled off of this case, you will never feel safe in your world again.
It started with a death.
Do you believe in God?
Yes, I do.
But it's going to end with a bang. Dead bang.
Something big is going on, more than anyone even guessed.
If I was in the big city, I'd listen to you.
You California boys got it too easy.
Cute sign, Chief.
White supremacy. White and pure, Mr. Beck.
The system won't back him up, but he knows 7 men who will. It's time to fight fire with fire.
Is there anyone that'd be afraid to go through a door with me?
I'd go through a door with you anytime.
Don Johnson. Dead bang.
Welcome to Retro Movie Geek, the show wherein we, your humble hosts, watch and discuss a retro movie, which we define as any movie 20 years old or older. This, of course, means we spoil the heck out of every movie we cover. So if you haven't seen this episode's cinematic delight, then consider yourself forewarned. I am Joel, and I am joined by Daryl.
Hello there.
And a well-shorn scrotum. I mean, Peter.
Wow. No, it's not. Whoops. Hi.
Hey, and we are joined by a returning guest, a special guest, one of our favoriteest people in the whole wide world. And that's saying something because she's on another part of the world, unlike, Peter, who's, not that far away based on my American geography.
Yeah, sure.
Maggie! Maggie is back. Yes. And so those that are just listening, you're only hearing the audio version of this.
Oh, yeah.
This is being recorded as video as well. If you go over to the Mom and Pop Video Shop on YouTube, you can see the lovely Maggie. You can see our ugly mugs, and you can join us here because
can do like this.
Yes, and you also get to see Peter randomly pull up crap out of his house that he's going to share with us throughout the entire episode.
No.
And you get to see creepy things like my conjoined twin puppet up here.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody in the leave in the comments. Let us know in the comments if you can even tell from there what this guy right there is. There you go. All right. So we are here though, Peter. We're here to talk about Dead Bang.
Really?
Why do you say it like that?
I know, kind of ruins it. What? Hey, what? Yeah. Wait, Peter, real quick, before we start. What year did this movie come out? What year? What year did this? Daryl, what year? What year did this movie come out?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Nope.
Maggie, do you know what year this movie came out?
He probably has something. He probably has something keyed up.
I do.
It'd be way cooler if I did, Peter, but I don't. What year did this come out, Maggie?
I feel like this is going to come back and bite me on the ass if I know what year it came out.
What year did it come out, Maggie? You gotta say it. No, consider the source. Consider the source. And do you trust him?
1989.
A number, another summer. And out of the sound of the fucking drummer.
I'm leaving.
I haven't done that in a while.
You know
I've
what?
never done it on video with you guys, so that's the first.
No,
That's
yeah,
not
you
good.
should dance.
Yeah.
I really should have something queued
How
up.
old I was when that came out.
How old were you when that came out?
10.
Wow.
Wow.
I was 13. So I wasn't that much
Okay.
older than you. These two, however, these guys, yikes.
That was just celebrating his 60th birthday when this
I
came
know. I know.
I wrote it.
But you know what?
Synopsis, it says Peter's VHS synopsis. You want it?
Yeah. Yeah, I would love
Yeah,
your
we
VHS
want it.
synopsis.
Sadly,
Hit it.
it's a long one.
Oh, good
Oh.
Lord.
That's what he said.
Oh,
You know,
You never
the man at a glance, and he still carries a badge. He's Don Johnson, the rugged Miami Vice star, now prowling LA's mean streets as Detective Jerry Beck in Dead Bang, an explosive thriller drawn from Beck's true life exploits and directed by John Frankenheimer. Beck's life is on the skids. That's mildly. His wife has left him, his apartment is a dump, and his recent companions come in bottles and cans. And his glasses are broke.
and he can't stop sweating.
The one thing he has going, well, he has the drunk sweats. The one thing he has going for him is his work as a good cop, but even that quality is questioned by authorities who don't like his hard driving ways. A certain Woody Allen lookalike. Dead Bang's dangers hover and rumble like thunderclouds, and its lead role suits Johnson dead on. Ah, I see what they did there. The dynamic star is riveting as the cop whose street smarts and instincts for trouble put him on the trail of a gang of murderous white supremacists and into a bullet-frenzied firestorm in their subterranean Colorado headquarters, an underground lair. I did hit air quotes if people didn't watch it. He's obsessed with his work and doesn't trust anyone, is how director Frankenheimer describes Beck. He takes an emotional... I'm not done yet. He takes an emotional and physical journey that can give audiences one hell of a ride. It's a ride without handrails, seatbelts, or brakes. A headlong plunge into the heroics of a cop pushed to the max.
Take a breath. So murderous white supremacist. As I said, murderous white supremacist, as opposed to the friendly neighborhood.
Yeah,
like
friendly neighborhood white supremacy.
Kind,
Yeah.
the fluffy. White
Some of my
supremacist.
best friends are white supremacists.
Come on.
Don't
Wait
judge.
Wait a minute.
By the way,
Hold on,
this is
Peter. Is he talking about anybody we know?
Oh, I could. No, I'm not doing.
Hey, wait, hold on. My impression of Peter's family. Peter's family, circa 1946.
Get the accent right. It's not.
I was nowhere near the war. I'm Swiss. I'm Swiss. I was nowhere near the war.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
I will ask the questions.
By the way,
And I'm the one that's inappropriate, huh?
and by the way, this is how you deal with stuff like white supremacy. You make fun of it.
Yes.
Mock it openly. All right. So, Peter.
In a Christmas movie.
Oh,
Also.
God.
That's right. It
Okay,
was Christmas.
This is a Christmas.
This is a
movie.
Christmas movie, Daryl.
Yes,
Is it more or less than Die Hard is,
Oh, no.
Daryl?
More of a Christmas movie
Oh,
than dark.
I knew you were gonna do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Feel it.
he wrapped
Maggie.
that sheriff off in nice
Feel it.
blood.
I can now at least see when Maggie is trying to react, and you guys aren't giving her a chance. So, Maggie, what were you gonna say? There was something that you were gonna say.
No, I was saying it can't be a Christmas movie because Shane Black didn't write it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It really didn't feel very Christmassy, even when they were kind of emphasizing the Christmas aspect.
You know what? So I watched it a couple of weeks ago, which I know you'll ask me in a second, and I haven't watched it since. I didn't watch it today when I was making my notes. And until you'd said that, I'd completely forgotten that it was set at Christmas.
Yeah, well, they don't really go back to.
It was in the trailer. It was in the trailer.
Yeah,
You could see "Merry Christmas" on something, as well
My
as
favorite Christmas movie. What are you talking about?
I bet it is. So, speaking of what Mags just said, hey Mags, when did you first see it?
I saw it for the first time about 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
I
What?
was staying with, so I have to say a big hello to my friend Uncle Matt, who is an old college friend who I was staying with a couple of weeks ago. Matt doesn't believe that a good film has been made after about 1982. However, this is one of the rare ones. So I stayed for a week, and we basically just watched a crap load of old films. And Dead Bang was on the list of things he pulled for us to watch. So it was a couple of weeks ago that I saw it for the first time.
Okay. All
I
right.
was under the impression you'd seen it before. It sounded like that in the text, but okay.
I think she was just humoring
I think
us.
I might have seen it. I'm not sure. I think when I was watching it and when I was writing notes today, I thought, I'm sure I've seen bits of it before, but I could have been drunk. So I don't know.
Very, very possible.
As Jerry Beck in this movie.
Oh, yeah, very on point. Peter, when did you first see a Dead Bang?
When I first saw a Dead Bang, or
Yes.
the movie Dead Bang. Okay.
Yes. When did you first bang the dead, Peter?
Oh,
well, all right. You'll read that in my memoirs.
Okay.
This is a rental because it was Don Johnson. It was Miami Vice and all that, and so this was back in '89 or '90.
Okay, so basically after it was in the theaters, you saw it first time.
Yeah. VHS. Yep.
Garrow, don't let me down. I know when you probably directly left the Klan meeting and went straight to the theater.
first we went to White Castle, then we went.
Okay, all right. That's fair.
Oh, and like the Sheriff Dixon says in this one, not a clucker among them.
That's right. No, I saw it on HBO. That was the first time I ever saw it.
Okay.
Way back
When?
Probably about like early 90s? Early 90s?
Probably early 90s, yes.
Okay.
Because it was Don Johnson, and I think it was Miami Vice was like still big enough.
Yeah, gotcha.
So
There was I feel like there was a window for him.
Yeah,
with Miami Vice.
Writer's strike.
Oh, that was around that
time. Yeah.
Weird. It's almost like that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I will never forget when he threw up on that guy. Like I remember.
Yeah, that's pretty memorable and disgusting. Yeah.
Daryl, we've all been sick at work because we've been hungover. You know it. Admit it.
Hopefully you're not a cop chasing people down.
No, I was working in the kitchen at the time.
Where?
I was working in the kitchen.
Oh,
nice.
A big bowl of pea soup, yeah.
They'll never know.
Yeah, they'll never just mix it in. Extra seasoning. All right. So the thing about this movie that's very funny to me, I know I had seen it. It was probably like one of you guys, like either HBO video, something. But I had to be the only, it was either 7th grade or 9th grade. It had to be 9th grade because 7th grade was for like 88 to 89. So yeah, it had to be 9th grade because I know I was living at my mom's house and we had video stores that would just give away posters. And I had the poster for Dead Bang. 9th grade, along with a bunch of other ones. It wasn't like it was just that one above my bed. It was, but I had the
Mighty
poster.
Johnson.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had a man crush on Don Johnson. I had the Dead Bang poster in my bedroom when I was 9th grade, and I kind of wish I still had it, but you know,
you had it on the ceiling, on the mirror.
What's that?
You had it on the mirror ceiling.
No, it was not. No, it was not. That was my dad's house. This is my mom's house.
He put the poster next to him on the bed so he can see Don Johnson lying next to him on the bed.
Did you kiss it before you went to bed at night?
I didn't, but I may have done that with the Attack of the 50-Foot Woman reprint poster that I had next to it.
Wow.
Oh,
I can neither confirm or deny. I also had like posters. I would just take whatever they had. I think it was Born on the 4th of July. I had to put Blaze. You remember the Paul Newman, Lolita Davidovich movie?
Yes.
Yeah, like I had that poster. I'm in like in 9th grade. I'm like, why? I guess it was about a stripper, but it's not a kid's movie at all. Like it's not even.
It was a great movie.
Yeah,
great movie.
But anyway, so I always had this like soft spot. For some reason, I remember liking this movie a lot, but I have not seen this in 30 years, 25 years. It's been a minute.
It's been a while.
Yeah. So then I guess it's on to us discussing this movie, this major motion picture. Let's talk about the Dead Bang.
There he is.
All right.
That's
the poster. That was the poster I had.
Yeah. I figured that was the one with the Mighty Johnson.
The Mighty Johnson. We got a big Peter on the show and a Mighty Johnson.
There was a bit of a bulge in his crotch area there. So
really, Peter?
Not really the first place you looked to, Peter. That's the first thing you looked at. What's wrong with you, man? Honestly.
Yeah. That's a long discussion, Maggie. That is a long discussion. See what I did there?
Take it.
So we are then I guess discussing Dead Bang. I will go through some of the IMDb stuff. I will tell you this: my memory of this movie was that Mike Hanlon, also known as Tim Reed, and Venus Flytrap, right? Was that his WKRP? Was that WKRP? Wasn't he on that? Or am I remembering the wrong dude? Right, he was, right?
Was
The guy.
Tim Reed in it?
He was it. He was Mike Hamlin. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
was it?
I can work out why he had the and. It was like, I don't know who this guy is. Like, because like when they did the cast at the beginning, it was like Don Johnson and blah and blah and blah and Tim Reed.
Oh, I love the guy Frank Military, who we'll get to, I'm sure, because he was the main bad guy. But like, I was like, Frank Military. I've never even heard of this dude.
Brilliant
name.
Brilliant
Yeah.
name.
And you know the guy it's based on, Mr. Beck himself. He has a small part in this one.
It's based on somebody?
Yeah.
Jerry Beck is a real LA.
Did you listen to that long ass thing that he just read?
Yeah.
If you want me to be honest,
I'll read it. I'll read it
no,
again.
but do not read it again. Do not read it again. To be fair,
the man at a glance. He
No!
still carries the bag.
No.
Drop it.
Don't make me come down there, Peter. Do not make me come down there.
You could be here kind of fast anyway.
Yeah, really. She just dropped it down two boxes.
It's an actual cop. So, yep.
No, I was gonna say with Tim Reed. I mean, it's you guys watch WKRP in Cincinnati, right? Come on, I'm not the only one, am I?
Never heard.
Oh,
of it.
Errol.
Of course, he knows it.
I may have been after this movie humming that song for the last 24 hours. But here's the thing: my memory was that this movie, when Tim Reed and his crew of cops show up, that was more of the movie.
Not a clucker among them.
Not a clucker.
I love that. I love that
mean?
line.
What does that mean?
Not a
white
hello, Ku Klux Klan. Not a clucker among them.
Oh, that's what you call it. I've lived in the South my whole life. I've never heard him called a clucker.
What is it?
You can get it from context, Joel. You can get it from context, right?
I think it was like some kind of like calling him like a chicken head or something.
What does Fletch call them? He called when they're kind of newbies in the clan. Didn't he call them the cluckies?
Did he?
Like that?
Oh,
I think so.
Yeah, he did.
Well, like, I'm just going to skip right to the end when they talk about that the seven men who will from the trailer. Don't they turn up like 15 minutes before the end?
That's what I was getting at. Yes. And my memory, honest to God, Maggie, my memory was that they showed up like at least halfway through, and that it was more of it was a bigger deal. But you feel like, because I like that idea, and it makes sense. And it's like you could tell, like, this is back, when movies would make social commentary and not like just smash you over the head with it. So I liked all of that, but then it's like the last 15 minutes, I'm like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
It was weird.
Yeah, there's the cavalry.
But I thought it was going to be more of the movie, Daryl, and I've seen this movie. I had a memory of it being more of the movie. I thought Tim Reed was in it from like at least a halfway point.
No. It's not as cool in the shooting, right? Like, I mean, Don Johnson misses a lot in this movie.
Yes,
He's
drunk. He's hungover. Yeah.
He doesn't hit a target till the end. Right?
Yeah, that's true. And then he's very good. Good.
All of a sudden, he's Don Johnson from Miami Vice. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know. So I guess Daryl, what are your initial thoughts as far as the movie? Because you haven't seen it.
I remembered. I mean, but I did remember the black people because I count black people. But I remember them coming in at the end. I remember him being really sick and throwing up on the suspect. I remember
it's a memorable scene.
I remember him having that crazy sex scene with
Penelope Ann Miller.
I have thoughts about that too. Because look,
same here.
I love naked white women as much as the next black guy, right? But
that's next
she had no part. Like, there was no reason for her to be in this movie.
None.
Nope.
The way Daryl counts black people in movies, I count women.
Yeah.
Like, it's her and it's the vicar's wife, and that's about it.
The female cop whose car Beck crashes into.
Yeah.
That's about
true.
it. That's
Yeah.
about
You
it.
don't even get the wife, the ex-wife
Nope.
scene or
We
anything.
don't.
You just
No,
get
we
him
just hear
yelling
her.
at her over the phone.
You
Yeah.
just get her yelling. You just get him yelling at her on the phone. Is that
His
it?
daughter, you do see for whatever reason. By the way, can you explain that to me? What's up with the restraining order against a cop to not be able to go by his kid's school to just watch his kids? Like,
No
what is that?
Ask his
No,
ex-wife.
Oh no, I've got a theory.
What is it?
Oh,
No,
Is
Okay.
it creepy?
well, no, it's not creepy at all. It's just that we'll get to it later, but it's basically my notes are mostly. Well, there's a big question in one page of my notes. Is Jerry actually a bit of a dick?
Oh yeah.
Like,
oh, you think?
Everybody else around. So he's like a complete. I think Jerry is. I think. So without getting off, I mean, we're 20
Do it.
minutes.
Do it. Do it.
20 minutes
Go
in.
for it.
Not going to get on my feminism high horse just yet. But I think with Jerry's character, I think he's actually like, because it's Don Johnson, we kind of love him and he's a bit cheeky. He's been like,
Of course.
Actually, he's awful.
Yeah.
There are reasons that I think he's violent. There are reasons that he gets into so much trouble. It's not just because he was drunk and threw up on someone.
No.
He's actually awful. And I think you see him smash a telephone at one point.
Yes.
And he breaks his glasses. I can't remember how he breaks his glasses, but basically, I think he's probably a bit of a concern. Is the nice way of
he
putting
is.
it.
Well, remember, I had forgotten, but the first half of the first act of the movie, he doesn't even use a gun. He beats everybody, each suspect, with the
Big ass
flashlight.
flashlights. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty. I mean, and I know back in the day that was a big thing for cops who were abusive to people like me.
Or people like Adolf.
Sure.
Or people like Michael Jetta, however you pronounce it, Michael Jetta.
Oh yeah, Alan.
He really threatens him.
You mean Woody fucking Allen?
Hold on. I want to ask Maggie.
You're allowed to swear.
No, you can say. No. You can say that swear. It's other ones, Daryl.
Bad
What?
swear.
But I will say that scene. Let me ask you full context. though. I agree with you. Obviously, that was a bridge too far as far as like what he does. But if that had actually been Woody Allen, would that change the dynamic? Would that have been okay? A little bit. If he had just gotten up in his.
I mean, I was annoyed that he was bullying Michael Jetta. Did you notice the 2 Sister Act 2 alumni in there?
Okay. All right. Well, if we're gonna go there, hold on. Wait for it. Booyah!
Hang on. Before we go into that, could we just go back to that weird scene again with Penelope Ann Miller's character? That's how messed up is that? I mean, it's at the start of the movie we see a shooting. There he is beating up the phone.
Never hit him.
It starts with the convenience store robbery where the guy shooting the poor old man, the black guy, and then he goes out and then he shoots a cop. And we learn later that Penelope Ann Miller's character is this dead cop's wife, who goes to sleep basically the day after or something like that. She sleeps with Jerry Beck, basically to get him to go after her husband's killer.
Well, she says that
messed
wasn't
up. Or is that just me?
She said, "Listen, see, you have to listen to women, Peter." She said that wasn't her plan originally. Her plan was to talk to him, about killing.
And then she saw him naked.
Charisma of Johnson.
But they had been separated for a few months, and she said
8 months. I think it's 8 months. Yeah.
Oh, so they were on a break.
Also, isn't there a massive age gap between them? Like Penelope Ann Miller. I feel like she was in the 80s. Like 2 years before, she'd been playing a high school student in Adventures in Babysitting.
Oh, that's true. That is her.
She was young in this one.
2 years later, she played Arnold Schwarzenegger's love interest in Kindergarten Cop.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, she's got range.
Yeah, she does. The one thing I'm gonna be honest with you, the thing that I couldn't get past through the whole movie was the sweet old man who gets. And here's the thing: did he die? Because he said he was horribly injured, but like he looked like he died.
At the convenience store?
Yes.
He was
No, he
murdered.
shot him dead.
That's what
He
I
was
thought.
murdered.
Okay, if you listen when they're doing the whole thing, when they're going to, because right after that he kills the cop.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't get me wrong, I totally get that they would have definitely prioritized the cop more than the old guy, even though they shouldn't. But I get that.
Civilians are always
They never
top row.
mention him again.
Not until the end.
Yeah, exactly.
When did they
When
mention
he
him at the end?
when he shoots, when the guy's bleeding out, the guy, the one he
Yes.
thought.
Yes, that's right. Then he does say to him, "Yeah, he says you robbed, but it didn't even." He goes, "Yeah, you robbed a convenience store and shot the clerk, and then you shot the cop." And then that's when he.
That's Bob Balaban. And on a completely
Believe me,
different
I
movie.
had waited. Joe, I had sat there through the whole movie waiting for his name to be mentioned. Like I felt.
I know.
Name.
I did. I was like, that's especially since the way they set it up is so heartbreaking. Like, the whole thing, like, do you believe in God? He's like, he's so. It's like, yes, I do. He does it. He's smart because he knows not to look at the dude, right? Like, you don't look at him because then they can't. Like, if you see somebody, they're pretty much going to kill you, right? Because you've seen him. But he's smart. He keeps those eyes down. He's not going to do it. But then, and it's so like just the way
him anywhere.
And look, I like my bad. I like when my bad guys are bad, and this dude is horrible. Although we'll get into how I think they also heavily cheated on the reveal of who it ends up being.
Right. Oh, and let's not forget the Mexican.
Yes, they didn't even mention them after that. Yes. These sweet people just having a good time, and then they come in.
Line them up because when that woman, that's a hard watch. When that woman starts crying, she knows that they're going to kill her.
Yep.
And she's just begging almost for her life. That's not even mentioned. Like it's not even like in a.
It's barely mentioned. Yeah, it's like and they committed a mass murder in the middle of all this. Maggie, what were you going to say? Because I saw your hand go up.
I do raise my hand every time.
It's okay. This helps. I can see you. Yeah.
You know what? I do it when we're not on camera as well.
Yeah.
Like, no, the whole reveal thing. When we come to that, I've got it's just done like. So, like my former career was based on being able to recognize people's voices. So like with it, like the way they did the beginning of the reel, I was like, okay, no, who did it? You see, like it happens, you see the cast list and go, oh, okay, I've solved it all. Don, I'll help you out. I've solved it.
Okay, so since obviously we spoil everything, so does that sound to you like Tate Donovan when he talks to the old man? Because he didn't even sound like him to me. No, it sounded like a brother, the older brother.
No, it didn't. It was definitely Tate Donovan putting on a deeper voice.
Oh, okay.
All white guys sound the same to me.
They do. They really do. They really do. Well, my wife is my wife. She could see Ed Harris a million times, and she'd be like, "Yeah, he was in The Abyss, right?" Like she can't remember his name, but his voice. Like if he's in a cartoon or something, she'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's Ed Harris." I'm like, "What? How do you do that?" But she does that really. I'm horrible. I'll hear Bruce Willis and something, and I'll be like, "I know that voice. Who is that?"
More importantly, Joel, does she remember him dancing in
Creep Show?
With tight jeans on.
I don't know if she remembers that, but we all should because it's amazing.
And you should talk like this because they're super tight.
That's what Peter sounds like in skinny jeans, just in case you guys were wondering.
Oh, just wait till tomorrow when I go to work. That'll be a gut punch. I'll talk like that all
right. It's about time you go to work.
Oh, we want. What's happening? Are we wandering with?
Whoa, what?
Hold on,
be honest,
Matt, I just realized something. Maggie, it's probably actually getting a little dark in your neck of the woods, isn't it? Now that I just realized. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Hello. It's actually later here.
Yeah, I know, but we I mean, not that we don't care.
No, you don't count for you.
No. Yeah, we care of Maggie's,
It's because I'm special.
Yes,
there you go.
Yeah, of course.
All
right. So
I can't see my notes if I don't put the light on.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I feel you. If I don't have my contact in or I'm blind, it's ridiculous.
Shine that light, baby. I can look at you.
I love the lean in. See, you got to watch the video to get the full effect of this. The lean in. He's giving the.
That's why I'm recording downstairs instead of upstairs. I was going to be in my room, but Daryl, you can't come in there until we're married. I'm sorry.
See, she is very traditional when it comes to.
I'm a traditional man.
Yeah. I am. Oh, by the way, when she made the feminist comment, didn't you say, "Oh, that's hot"?
He did.
I did.
Okay, I was just checking. I thought so.
You should hear what I said so he could then mansplain it back to me.
Yes. Yeah, Daryl believes in woke washing everything. He
woke washing.
Wow, it's a new term now.
I heard that term. I was like, I'm online far too much. I know too much of this stupid crap. All right. All right, here we go. So, needless to say, two things annoyed me: that the old man barely gets a mention, even though look, the cop was just doing his job, and it's horrible. And I mean, my sister is a cop, my uncle was a cop. I mean, cops, it's a dangerous job, and obviously, I get that would be a driving force, but the fact that they never mentioned the old dude who set the thing in motion, even though in the trailer, and by the way, that trailer is deceptive. That trailer is deceptive because they make you think that it's going to be about this old man gets murdered by a skinhead, and then John Johnson teams up with this all-black police force to go after them. And I'm like, I'm in. That sounds awesome. That is not what we get.
So you're saying a trailer is misleading?
I know. Who knew? Who knew?
Crazy.
I know. False advertising. All right, so let's get into some IMDb stuff here. I'm going to now go back into adding. Let me see if I can do this without screwing things up too bad. Here we go. All right, so this was directed by John Frankenheimer.
Yeah, barely know his name.
Are you serious?
No.
Okay.
You should know me by now.
Are you serious, Clark? The main thing I feel like everybody, yes, I did. Everybody knows him the best from his amazing work on the Island of Dr. Moreau.
Prophecy. Oh, okay. I kind of don't hate on that movie.
I saw that in the
weird ass movie.
What, Island of Dr. Moreau or Prophecy?
Yeah. No, no. Island of Dr. Moreau, I have that on Laserdisc. You know that.
Well, Richard Franklin. Have you ever watched that documentary about? It's Richard Franklin, right? He's the guy that was original director and did Dust Devil and Hardware, right? Somebody help me here! Come on, people. Yes, I'm pretty sure.
It's getting up. Is it Richard?
Anyway, there's a fantastic documentary about the making of that movie and what an utter disaster it was. And they brought Frankenheimer in at like the 11th hour to fix it. Good job.
That was a mocking.
What Maggie? What's that, Maggie?
Maggie, you go.
Thank you, Daryl. He's my knight in shining armor. There's a whole thing about it. I don't know if you saw the Val Kilmer documentary that came out last year, maybe the year before.
Yes, I did. It's great. It's great.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
But there's a whole bit talking about it in that as well because it was such a clusterfuck.
Yes, it was that and you remember Reindeer Games? I think he was brought in. He may have been brought in on that one too because I remember with Ben Affleck. That one also around that same time period. I feel like
Frankenheimer been the first warning that it was going to be trouble.
What, that it was a Ben Affleck joint?
Uh-huh.
Richard Stanley is who you're referring to.
Richard Franklin is the dude who did Psycho 2, isn't it?
Oh God, yeah. Okay,
I don't remember.
IMDb again.
I do that thing now. I'm at that age where I know exactly what I'm talking about. I can picture them in my head, but I'll conflate like the names together. I did that the other day with something. I was like, it was we were trying to talk about Melissa Sue Anderson from Little House on the Prairie, right, Peter? From Happy Birthday to Me. And I said Melissa Gilbert.
Yeah.
Instead of Laura.
Wow.
It was Richard Franklin. So
you're an old man now.
Richard Franklin did Psycho 2, which is a fantastic movie. I was thinking of Richard Stanley, though. That's what I meant.
Yes, you were.
Okay, Grandpa.
Okay, so back to this. So Frankenheimer, he also did. You ever see Ronin with De Niro? I remember that one.
That
was a cool movie. Yeah.
Jean Reno as well was in that, wasn't he?
Who?
Jean Reno. Liam.
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
he was.
Yeah, he was. I remember it had a really good car chase crash scene in it. I don't think I remember about that movie though.
I think that's all anybody remembers about that movie.
Yeah,
mostly.
But he did like Manchurian Candidate, right?
Yeah, that's a good one. He did.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, Prophecy, I like that one. But Birdman of Alcatraz?
Yes, he did the original. He did the original Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah. Birdman of Alcatraz. Anyone remember that one?
Yep.
With Burt.
Yeah, he had some really. He did
Black
Seconds.
Sunday is a good one.
And Seconds. Remember Seconds? It's like a black and white thriller. Really weird. Yeah. Is it?
And you did French Connection too.
Is Seconds with Rock Hudson? Rock Hudson's in that, right?
you go.
Peter, I've got.
Yes.
I'm trying to stay on IMDb. Yeah, you humor me. Just say yes. All right. So the cast. We've already talked about Don Johnson.
Who's he?
I think we've let it be known. Yes, Maggie. Yes, go ahead, please.
No, carry on with what you're saying, but I just want to
make sure you get something in. You got something to say about? Is it about Don Johnson or about Frankenheimer?
No, it's about William Forsythe.
We'll get to them. All
them.
right. So Don Johnson. I have never seen an episode of Miami Vice. We have established that.
Have you watched Nash Bridges?
No. Why would I watch that? I'm not 80. I'm not 80. I'm not 80.
Rude.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I never did. I never watched it. It's got Cheech in it, though, right? Is that the one that Cheech is in?
Yes.
Okay, it's got Cheech, so I'd see it for Cheech.
Have you seen? So have you seen the movie The Hotspot?
No.
What was the one he did with Melanie Griffith? That was really good as well.
Milk Money?
I'll be quiet. Milk Money?
Did you just say that?
That was Melanie Griffith, wasn't it? Milk Money? Remember that one?
No,
where they pay the prostitute their milk money.
He did it.
Okay. Have you seen?
They did a really lovely drama that was about a couple. It was all very sad and tragic, and you would hate it, Joel. It's a girl film.
Okay.
Well, you watched Tin Cup.
I've seen Tin Cup. I like Tin Cup. Yes.
Harley Davidson and the Marble Man.
I've never seen that.
I saw that in the theater. Actually,
I never saw that movie. We were going to cover it. I thought
it's on the list somewhere.
What, Maggie?
He turned up in Knives Out as well a couple of years ago.
Yes, he did. Yeah, and I think wasn't he in Machete? Wasn't he like the?
Yes.
The really like the. What I can't remember what was the.
One.
It's like a government official, or was he a governor? Maybe just a governor.
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah,
it's been a couple of years.
But yeah, I knew he was a villain. Anyway, here's the thing, and you'll be happy, Daryl. I'm going to make it a mission, much like I went back and I finally watched, not even rewatched. Watch The Shield.
Miami Vice?
Watch Miami Vice, and I'll tell you why. Because I love Tubi.
Hang on.
I love Tubi, and Tubi it came up on my little recommendation thing, and it was just one little scene, and it looked so good. Like the music was awesome. I was like, this looks kind of fantastic. Why haven't I watched this?
It's Miami Vice, for fuck's sake.
I'm sorry. I'm just, I haven't seen it. What do we do? I just, finally saw Sons of Anarchy for the first time like a year ago or whatever it was. So.
Well, yeah.
I'm behind. What'd you say?
You saw Sopranos?
I never saw Sopranos. Still. My wife won't like that one, though. I got to watch that one by myself. She ain't going to like it. And she's not as much into like mafia stuff as I am.
Bathroom breaks, don't you?
I watch it on my phone in the bathroom. Yeah. I did The Wire. That's how I watched The Wire. I watched every season of The Wire on my phone. Every scene. Every season.
Bathroom?
Sometimes.
I'm trying to get up.
What are you eating?
Hey, have you ever sat on the toilet watching something so long your legs fall asleep? I have done that. And it hurts like hell when you stand up, man. It hurts so bad.
Man, I watch it in my living room. I don't have to watch it in the bathroom.
You have to hide in a bathroom.
You're a grown man.
My kids, nobody's gonna let me watch this. I gotta watch it on my.
I had 5 kids, Daryl. That's what you.
Yes, that a lot. Yes,
I'm busy.
All right,
you got like 8 kids.
How about this? We already mentioned Penelope Ann Miller, obviously Kindergarten Cop.
She played a big part in this movie. Yeah.
She was
in the Relic. The Relic.
It's essential to the story. Maggie, go ahead.
No. One of my notes was, what was the point of that scene? That whole bit. But apparently they shot a bit. They shot a scene at the end that they never used with her into kind of trying to
connect it.
Background. Yeah. Because the end of the film has no relation whatsoever to the beginning.
No, it does not. No. That is correct. That is correct. That is correct. Yeah,
she was supposed to pick him up after that press conference.
Why? But why would she have done that?
Because they were going to go. I love you.
Yeah, but they never established any kind of relationship. Why? Because they had
which is apparently why it's not in the movie.
Well, what was funny was she did
stuff with her out, and it wouldn't have made any difference.
Yes, it would have been fine. You didn't need it. Yeah.
But they stuck a scene. They stuck some dialogue in that scene with her where she says. He says something like, "What do you think you're going to try to tell me that you automatically just felt something for me or whatever just from that night?" And she said yes.
It was his puppy
and then
eyes.
He started yelling at her, about it, and then it's forgotten. So I was like, it was even worse with the lines that they gave her. to say
Yeah.
because it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
I just had a flashback to watch when we were watching it. I got the rage after that scene. I got the rage a lot. You know me. I get the rage all the damn time watching stuff. But when she woke up in his bed and got dressed, obviously hungover, you can see how hungover she is.
Oh,
She put her tights back on. She had the patience to put her tights back on. I have never once.
That's the same thing.
Not in however many years of hangovers. Like if there's ever been a situation, it's like, no, that is not going to happen. She would have put it on. She would have put her hands through them. She would have just like left there with them bundled into a bag, looking like a bag of shit. She honestly would.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's one of those moments where if you found out that she pushed back against Frankenheimer a little bit in the scene and said, John, I don't want to tell you how to do your job. But as the person playing this character, I don't know that she would bother doing X, Y, Z. And he'd be like, hey, sweet thing. Just
or she comes in, why am I here?
Yeah. That was probably the other discussion. No, she wouldn't do that because she don't want to lose a job. It's a job, to be fair.
Well,
but he probably said
actress who already got cast in it got sacked. But what she would need is Daryl there on set going, see, what you don't understand is, let me explain it for you, John.
He pushes her, he kind of pushes her back.
Like
steps in.
Man to him so he'll hear. So he can hear what you're saying. Because he probably was like, listen, lady, I know women, and I know that's what they would do. They would be drunk and hungover, but put their tights back
Every
on.
woman I paid to spend the night with me has done that before she leaves my penthouse apartment. Everyone. Allegedly. All right. So, so that's Penelope Ann Miller. Much respect.
The Relic, I think, is on the list.
We did the Relic. We covered the Relic, didn't we? No, that was on my other. That was on the Jay of the Dead's new horror movies. I think we covered that.
Oh, okay.
I know.
She's also in The Shadow.
Other podcast.
Wow.
Dare you?
Love the face.
All those podcasts. I'm now the new Daryl, by the way. I'm the one on like 85 podcasts.
Dare you?
Daryl's condensed it down to only like half a dozen, and so I'm trying to catch up to him.
Right.
Any
Austin,
of
you
the
remember?
Shadow fans?
I remember when that movie came out. I didn't like it, but I need to revisit it because I was kind of.
I watched it more than one.
Same here. It's
Alec Baldwin, right? That's the Alec Baldwin.
Yeah. Okay. And again, I had that on Laserdisc too.
That came out my senior year in high school, right after I graduated. So I was 18. I just remember I didn't like it.
You were married by then, right?
No, I was 2 years later.
Okay.
Wow, you have to get mad.
I know. Come on. And I just remember I didn't like it that much. You know what I do remember is because I remember my wife's mom worked at a video store, so she would get those screener tapes, and we got one for The Gun in Mary Lou's Handbag, which is Penelope Ann Miller. If you remember that one, I remember like you have to watch the whole movie, and like throughout the entire movie, they just have like that thing going to do not replicate, do not, so you don't. Yeah. It's like if that's not distracting.
No, you get over it after.
Sit like this.
Yeah, exactly, to block it off. Now, Maggie, I believe you had something to say about Mr. Forsythe, and I'm assuming it's for his amazing performance in Steven Seagal's Out for Justice.
No, it was
his actually
amazing performance in The Rock or The Substitute. He was so bad.
Yeah,
It felt like he was doing.
He was so hilarious in this one.
Yeah. You know what it is? Go ahead, Daryl.
Well, I don't know if I was remembering. I was remembering wrong because it didn't happen. But for some reason, I kept thinking he is going to be.
Me too. I thought so too.
Part of the thing.
I thought he was going to be part of it. I thought he was going to be like a mole in the FBI working for the crew. That's what I thought too.
Because he's walking by Nazi stuff, and then he goes, looks at him, and he goes, "Don't curse." But then he turns to him and he's like, "Could you not curse?" And I'm like, "What? Are we serious? Are you fucking kidding me? Are we?"
But also,
I find that offensive.
He is more Aryan than anybody in that room.
I think. Yes, I would have lost it. I'd have lost it.
I think
So-
they did that as a red. I think it was a red herring. I think they did it as a red herring.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Max.
Probably.
No, because I was getting similarly annoyed whilst watching it. Not just the. I mean, if you think I'm pissed off now, you should see me actually watching it. This is rage that's had a few weeks to disperse.
Gotcha.
But I was just like, what the fuck is he doing? What are these acting choices? This
I
is
thought
really
it was hilarious.
uncharitable. He looked like a pig. Like
Yes.
Yes.
he looked like a pig. I don't know what it was.
Yeah,
But the way he was performing, so Matt, my friend, said, I think he's sort of trying to sort of be a bit. I guess now. What did he say? Something like he was a bit like socially awkward, or maybe a bit kind of on a spectrum, or something like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
But it's just really dreadful. Like,
Here's the only thing I'll say about that, Maggie. One thing I want to say about that, though, I'm not saying obviously people knew about like being on the spectrum or autism. I don't even know how much the spectrum thing was a thing in '89.
I feel it was like we were still.
It was Rain Man. Well, that was Rain Man came out that same year.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But I think also because there's a slight because at the end it's a quick reaction shot. It's when what is his name? Military, the brother was standing up there, and he calls Arthur Kressler, William Forsythe's character, gay because he looks like a gay, and there's a slight. You see the face of him, so maybe there's something playing into that as well, but you never really get anything of it.
He definitely was. He was repressed for sure. He had some issues. Yeah.
I thought he mentioned a wife. Or am I remembering?
He did. He mentioned.
Oh, he did. Okay. Well, you could call your man a wife.
But it's like it's not. I don't think that would be a choice. I don't think that would be a choice to lie.
All right, Maggie, go ahead.
Sorry, I was talking over Dow.
No, that's okay.
You can do that whenever you want.
Thanks. You say the sweetest things.
Smooch.
He was he definitely mentioned a wife and kids, but at the end of it, you kind of think, maybe they're gonna. Like the way they play it, it's like at the end they're going to sort of begrudgingly kind of accept one another and kind of go, oh well, you were a dick and you're a dick, but we like each other really.
Oh, we both like dicks.
But you don't. But you don't get that with him. He just kind of takes all the glory for it. I'm just ignoring that.
Okay, good.
He takes
for the
all
best.
the glory for it, and then that kind of conversation that you expect he's going to have with Kressler, he has with the Tim Reed character.
Yeah, with Dixon. Yeah.
Which is like it's really disjointed because you're just like you've got this character who's just like an absolute knob.
You want to know what would have fixed that, Maggie? You know what would have fixed that? If Tim Reed had been in the movie earlier.
I was about to say that. Yeah. It felt like he was, and then they changed their mind.
Weird. It was super weird. I really forgot.
We got that whole long segment with the sheriff. So this is what I don't understand. This has nothing to do with probably what you want to talk about right now. But I really need somebody to explain to me how the police system works in the US, because there's like sheriffs and they were going, oh, it's the sheriff's department. But then if like that's not the sheriff.
Well, hey, you know what, Maggie? What's hilarious? So my wife and I got into all shows like Luther and stuff like that. And you guys have the whole, was it like DI? And it's like, it took me a minute to I finally started to figure, okay, I think this person's equivalent to that person. And then that person's.
So
Frost
goes by
them all.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. It goes by
Hot Fuzz.
Go ahead and police explain us, Daryl. Police explain us.
Well, it goes by jurisdiction. There are some areas where there's some parts of the country where it's a police. They call them just the regular police force. There's some parts where they are sheriffs. They have the jurisdiction. The only thing that has full jurisdiction overall is the FBI.
That's federal. That's
federal. Yeah, the feds.
Because it's federal. And that's
now, I will
why-
say this, and Daryl, I don't know if this is. I would assume this is the same for every state, but I'm just guessing. I know in Florida, for instance, sheriff is county, so we have like the Polk County Sheriff's Department or the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department, and then we have police in each city. So we have a lake, in each
that's how
town,
I
like
figured it.
Orlando Police Department or Tampa
Right.
Police Department, that kind of thing. So you have police and the sheriff. Now, what it is there, I don't think it's like one's over the other one. It has to do with jurisdiction. So if something happens inside the city limits of Orlando, the Orlando police would handle it. But if it's outside city limits and maybe in between townships, then the sheriff would also handle that, if that makes sense.
Unless you're Buford T. Justice and just
Unless
goes
you are
all
Buford,
over.
and then you go after that bandit and you take him down.
This is why your country is so fucked up. No one knows who's in charge.
Hey, Maggie. Maggie, there's
of the
so many reasons.
They're one of them.
No,
Because
so-
those cats, they don't work together, and as it shows in the movie,
yes,
they rarely like to work together because everybody likes to take credit.
yes,
Or-
yeah, that's the other problem.
At
Yeah,
the end, right?
Yes.
That's
yes, that's true. I think there is a level of
And this is why things don't get done a lot of times.
yeah, not to throw any family members I have under the bus or anything, but I have to ask sometime, like how often in real life that happens, where like the feds come in and they're like, we're taking over. You know, I don't know how often that I know it depends on the thing. Like feds handle kidnapping, like if it crosses state lines, feds come in. And there's certain things that can.
Oh, it happens all the time. If they can't get a conviction, that happens all the time. They'll go to the they'll
FBI.
pressure the federal.
I
government to
give
get
you the
involved,
FBI.
and then they
What's that
go.
from, Daryl? What's that from? What Christmas movie, Daryl? What amazing 1988 Christmas movie set in a certain Nakatomi Plaza was that from?
You said good movie though, right?
No, I said fantastic. One of the greatest movies ever made.
I can't think of one that's fantastic. I can think of a really bad one.
Oh, no, you can't. No, you can't.
Yeah.
Well, which, by the way, that does remind me, because then that trips my brain to think of Lethal Weapon. The one thing earlier we were talking about Don Johnson's character, Maggie, and what a dick he is. I thought about, it reminded me on some level of like Riggs, the Mel Gibson character at Lethal Weapon, except that character, we're given a reason for his loose cannon like qualities, right? We're given a totally good, viable reason why he has the issues he has. Whereas this guy, I get his wife's divorcing him, but there's a lot of.
I mean, again, like I actually wrote down, I would have loved to see more movies about this character. Some that was set before this, and some set after. You kind of get a little, because you kind of have to piece it together why he's like this.
By the way, Daryl's doing that thing again where he doesn't actually like hide his camera. He just walks around his place,
and we can't hear him either. Oh, he's talking to
letting
Davey.
the popper out. It did feel like it was like a pilot or something. Like you could have.
Yes,
exactly.
Pilot movie.
Yes,
awesome.
Yes.
I miss when TV series did like pilot movies.
Yes, yeah. Yep. Especially the way it ends, because with him and Tim Reed, you think they're gonna like join forces. You thought he was gonna join forces with Tim Reed, right? And they were gonna do like something together. And then you get that like freeze frame, Don Johnson's smile at the end. It very much felt like a TV pilot. It did, 100%.
I tell you what, when you say about him sort of like the whole Riggs thing, but like there were loads of, like what I read, it kind of ties in. What it really felt like was that there were lots of bits in the film.
Hold freeze frame any longer.
Go ahead, Maggie.
They seemed like these little unconnected. Well, they were. I mean, they also had the through storyline, but they kind of felt unconnected. But like, I think the reason you don't realize quite what a dick Jerry is because he's just dealing with knobbers in every scene. He's dealing with some idiot who's just worse than the next one. Worse than the next one.
Yes.
And,
that's how you make your hero. You could get away with your hero being, like a dick anti-hero, is you just make everybody's dealing with worse than him.
And the biggest dick in this movie is just barely seen when he goes before he starts running after the guy throwing up on him. He's credited as one of the bikers, Ron Jeremy.
Oh yeah, I saw that. He was on one of the top bunks.
Yeah. His schlong was hanging out there.
Yeah, you could have used it to trip the guy. Wait. If that had been who he had to chase, hey Peter, if that had been who he had to chase, you just hear this.
And he could have just stepped on it, and he would have.
Yeah.
and then threw up on him.
Yeah, we would have all thrown up right there. Oh my God! All right, so Bob Balaban.
This is why Maggie joins us.
That's right. Or realizes she should never do this again. I'm going to get the email from Maggie after this where it's going to be like, okay, I cannot have actual visual evidence that I associate with degenerates like you guys. Bob Balaban, who I'm actually a huge fan of. Bob Balaban.
I love him in this one.
And that's another character I wanted more of.
Yeah.
I wanted more of him too. You know, he was the was parole officer, right?
I really wanted somebody to punch him.
Who, Bob Balaban's character?
Bob Balaban.
I liked him because I liked that he was so annoyed with Don Johnson's character.
Yeah, but he needed to be punched. I wanted to see him being punched in the face.
Yeah. He should have gone. You also kind of resemble Woody Allen. I need to beat you down.
Because to be a therapist and then have your feelings hurt. Like if he did it.
We're talking. Hold on, Darren. Let me cut you off. But the Bob Balaban was the parole officer. I know that nerdy white guys all look alike. But no, that's what was his name?
Michael Jeter.
Michael Jeter. Yeah, that's it for
Michael.
Right. My bad.
Yeah.
No, this is the
nerdy white guy.
He was actually in it more than I remembered. I thought that Bob Balaban was just like, and I've forgotten how much he's actually in it. But
I made a note.
What, Daryl?
I made a note with him because that's the part that got me mad too. Because it was like, you want to go off and have Christmas, but 2 people were murdered, and I wanted him to mention like this man was murdered in cold blood, and he won't have a Christmas. Like I wanted him to say something.
Yes.
I wanted him to
yell
like
a little guilt trip or something.
Which is why Maggie wanted him to be smacked.
Yeah,
he did deserve to be smacked. Yeah.
Well, although real quick, let's bring it back to Mr. Jeter, which here he is, Michael Jeter. He was the Shriek, and in Daryl's defense, they do have a similar vibe.
A little bit,
yeah. So, what were you going to say about him, though? You said about him, it annoyed you that he couldn't handle a basic comment,
right? Because therapists get insulted all the time.
Oh,
like,
I'm sure
that's part of
the
thing. For him to be like, I'm mad at you because of that, and not because you're an asshole who did some who's an abusive cop.
Sketchy stuff. Yeah.
You could say he's more fragile than a 50-year-old white guy on the internet.
Yeah.
Ooh. So
you could.
Wait,
Peter,
we're
talking.
I knew this was coming back to me.
Yeah, it's fragile as a Peter.
Don't you cry, Peter. Don't you cry.
Nah, not on camera.
I'd say as fragile as, unfortunately, I think the vast majority of people are on the internet, but that's a whole other different discussion.
Give a fuck, to be honest.
Frank Military, who has got the coolest fake-sounding real name ever.
I wonder if that's his real name.
Yeah, I guess it must be. I don't know him do you know him from anything else?
He did some bit
stuff with
NCIS. He was on NCIS or something.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
One episode.
The Last Castle. I saw that a long time ago.
Yeah, The Last Castle. That's a good one.
Doors.
The Doors. Yeah. Okay. He's done some stuff.
Oh, Last Exit to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of that.
Oh, Miami Vice. Wow, look at that. He was
scroll up. I want to see if that's if it's his real name.
I see what you mean. I will go real quick. It will probably tell you. Yeah, it doesn't say it's not. Under his trivia, delivered a chilling performance as a white, but we already know that. We just saw the movie.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Yeah. Apparently, he worked with Don Johnson as a writer and actor on the series Miami Vice. Okay.
He's a producer now.
Yeah. Well, and the thing was, I found the character was creepy. Like he was that he wrote that line of psychotic, but not so far gone that it's caricature.
He was a smart psychotic because he didn't come off as stupid. Like you see other movies where they're kind of just out there, but he was not a stupid psycho.
I had a little bit of I don't know if you guys have seen Justified, the Justified series with Timothy Olyphant, but Walton Goggins' character, Boyd Crowder, who's a fantastic villain. And when we first meet him, he's part of some white supremacist group. Actually, I'll have to ask Daryl because I know he liked Justified. On some level, this guy kind of had vibes of him. He wasn't as likable as Walton Goggins' character because Walton Goggins was like one of those guys was super. But Daryl, do you get that vibe? Like this, you almost Boyd Crowder from Justified. Like that's who this main supremacist guy kind of reminded me of a little bit, where he was smart but he was psychotic, and I don't know.
Yeah, he did.
there was a real sense that he was kind of just relentless.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
what he was going for. It's a bit like I mean, I know I covered this. Like, it was one of the last times I was on. We did the silent partner, and Christopher Plummer's character in that is just like, he's almost like a Terminator, and he's just gonna keep going, keep going. And you get that with Frank Military's character in this, that he's just doing it for almost like for the shits and giggles of it. He gets off on the violence of it.
And it's almost like he probably doesn't even believe in the cause. And everyone's not seeing the air quotes that I make here right now. But the cause, that's what Boyd Crowder was like in Justified. When you first meet him, he's this white supremacist, but you start to learn, you're like, oh, wait a minute, this is a means to an end. You're not really, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. So, which says something about you. You can just hang out. What was that, Daryl?
Well, he knew that he could manipulate them, and they were easy to manipulate to become soldiers and to do stuff that he needed to do to get money and stuff that he wanted to do. But that.
Yeah. And a quick sidebar: are you watching the new season of Justified, Daryl?
Of course I am.
Okay, we'll talk about it later. Tate Donovan. Tate Donovan was obviously the one who ends up being, and as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh, that's right. I remember now. It turns out it's him. So I didn't remember that. Yeah. Unless you're Maggie, who could ID him from the voice. So.
Yeah. And also, let's not forget, I spent many, many years as a teenager watching Space Camp and watching Memphis Belle. So.
Wait a minute. What about Love Potion number 9?
Oh.
Hey, what I love is I can prove.
It only goes so far, right?
I love that I can now prove because I haven't. Everyone's seeing the IMDb, and this is the only tab I have open other than one about Tim Reed, which I'm closing now. And I pull stupid crap like that I can pull out of my brain. Love Tate Potion Donovan, number 9.
Good. Tate Donovan was also in The Pacifier. Anyone remember that one?
With Vin Diesel?
Yeah.
I've seen that movie far too many times. I'm ashamed to admit.
I may or may not. I have to check that. Do I have that on my shelf?
Daryl's just shaking his head in disgust.
It's a bad movie. It's not a good movie.
It's not a good one.
Mickey Jones, who plays like every biker you've ever seen in every movie.
Yep. Yeah. And he was in V. That's where I first saw him.
And bar owner. He also plays bar owner a lot.
Yeah.
Yes,
exactly.
yeah. Bikers, bar owners, gang members, like all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Reed.
Brad Sullivan.
Oh, we're gonna get to him. I promise.
Oh yeah, him.
We mentioned Tim Reed earlier. He was, of course, WKRP at Cincinnati. He was Mike Hanlon in the It
of course
TV movie.
Pacifier on my shelf.
Of course you do.
Brad
Sullivan. I could try to remember what I remember him from. It was Slapshot.
Sister Act 2.
No, it was Slapshot because we covered that a couple years ago.
Sister Act 2.
No.
I got so excited. He was like he's the grumpy monk.
He always plays grumpy. He's always grumpy and everything.
Grumpy in this one.
Respect on that man's name, Joe. Respect on that man's name.
Oh my God.
I love it when they're riding up and they're getting shot. They just order fries and they get shot at, and he says, "Fuck your fries."
So, is there anybody else on the cast or whatnot you guys want to discuss, or are we good with that?
Let's see. No, I think we covered all of the main ones.
By the way, Peter, here's a 2-sentence synopsis you could have used.
Yeah, but listen, is this from the back of a VHS?
No,
it's not.
Yeah.
That's my shtick.
What kind of a weird tagline is this? You know the man at a glance, and he still carries a badge.
Because it's
Don Johnson. Yeah. No, I get that, but what is it? And he still carries a badge?
Miami Vice.
Oh, that's the reference. I get it now.
So I just have to say, Don Johnson is like the best US action movie star name. It's like Don Johnson. It's amazing.
Yeah. It could also be let's be honest, it could be a porn name. It could easily be a porn name. It's simple. It's very simple, but you get the idea.
Yeah, because it's not just a Mr. Johnson. It's the Don.
Don Johnson.
Gotcha.
Yes. Like the Godfather is a Don.
Yeah. Godfather Dick. Hashtag Godfather.
Hashtag Don Johnson. Oh dear Lord. All right. So I think the important question of the hour that we have to ask now that I'm going to get rid of the IMDb, and I'm going to get rid of our little ticker across the bottom.
What I like about,
for the love of God, Peter!
What?
Go ahead.
That we actually saw Jerry Beck doing police work, following the lines and everything. You got to see a little bit. It was not just a lot of shootouts, they were violent as all hell, but you got to see a little bit of police work because he wanted to solve this. Everybody else kind of apparently didn't really want to do anything much about it because they sent him to Woody Allen.
That's true. They did.
So there was a time. I do remember that in real life. I do remember that they did not want to acknowledge that these white supremacist groups, because they were trying to. I remember they were trying to warn the FBI and local law enforcement that these people were starting to come together. Like there's like a couple of people and that's it. And they did not want to believe it up until something really bad happened, and then they had no choice.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
America.
The same here as well.
Yeah.
The scary amount of right wingers here.
Well, that to me, the white supremacist thing transcends right wing. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like right wing could be a Republican, just a conservative. That is not equal in my mind.
No, it's not equal. But
but when you're extreme, right?
Wings. So, like here, you've got like the two main parties. You've got Labour and you've got the Tories.
That's what you guys have a parliament, right? Sorry, I forgot. It's not set up like ours.
Hang on.
Sorry, go ahead, Max.
You've got the Tories who are kind of who are right, centre right.
Yeah, they're conservative. The conservatives, whatever.
Yeah, but then you've got like UKIP and like those ones who are just vile.
Okay, so hold on. So wait a minute. You have more than just two parties?
Yeah.
Oh! See, in America, we found out you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to have more than two parties. You're only. I'll be careful. I'm gonna get on a whole about like Cornell West 2024. All right. So Daryl just went like, what?
What was I watching? Oh, I've been rewatching Scrubs on Disney, and
because it's a good show.
Because it's a great show, but there's a line in it where he goes, "I'm gonna." So I think some JD says to Dirk, "Oh, I'm gonna tell him that you're Kanye West," and he went, "I'm actually okay with that." I was like, "Oh, that's not aged well."
No.
I will say, extreme. Right, because actually, I guess that's where the whole right wing, left wing thing came from. Right, was part like Parliament. And you guys actually in the UK. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that where also that phrasing comes from? Is more from like a part where the further right you were, the more extreme. The further left, right? It's whereas literally the center is the center. Right? Is that the idea? So we use
Democrats.
Yeah, but see what's hilarious is that. Over here, we use that as like this stupid cultural thing where it's because we only have, we have third parties, but they, let's be honest, they don't, the corporate duopoly that I will not get on a soapbox about
please
that
don't.
we have here.
Too late.
I'm just going to say, Joel, if you'd left us in charge,
you
wouldn't have these problems.
I had nothing to do with it.
We were in
I
charge.
don't know if I want to drink tea. I don't want to drink tea. That's the only thing. I don't want to drink tea.
V for Vendetta.
I don't want to be drinking tea. I like coffee.
How old is that? We can cover that, can't we?
Maybe. I don't know. I've never seen it. All right. So it still? I never saw V for Vendetta. I know I'm that guy. Does it still hold up for you, Maggie? Dead Bang.
So I think it held up, given that it was the first time I've seen it. However, my friend Matt said he didn't enjoy it as much as he had the first time he saw it, but he still liked it.
Okay, that's fair enough. All right, Daryl, for you, sir.
It holds up. I mean, for the most part, it has some issues in it, especially how they treat female characters in this movie,
and completely disregard the opening victim.
Well, that's some of the problems. I mean, yes. But overall, I mean, I think they could put this on TV or whatever streaming thing.
And make more.
And still, you know, if people would still watch it, updated a little bit. You can still do that. In fact, they have still done stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not that far from. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, Peter, for you, how does Banging the Dead hold up?
Wow.
It's hard to hold it up when you're banging to dead, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it all fall apart? You get
Daryl,
scared
make them
away.
stop. Daryl,
You have to lay them down, Joel.
I can't.
Aren't they already laying down? Aren't they already laying down?
You said hold them up because they'll fall. It'll flop and fall, and you know. Never mind.
Well, I wasn't going to go that far. Whoa, Peter.
Oh, God.
Whoa.
This is what happens. I'm sorry, Maggie. This is what happens.
She knows. Sadly, she knows.
Go ahead, Peter.
Because she has kind of like a big anal plug there in the back with eyes.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
Just turn around and watch. No, not you.
What?
Joel.
Oh. This
Your hand prop.
Oh, I thought you were talking Maggie too. I'm like, dang, Peter. That's rude.
No. Like I would ever do that.
I was like, what are you talking about?
It's because it's you, Joel. It's always been you. No, Dead Bang holds up. I enjoyed this movie. Okay. So and like Daryl said, it has issues, and but it's a fun movie. It has some fun lines, and there's some good action in it. And I actually like Don Johnson in this character because he's so. At the start of the movie, he's so pathetic with the glasses falling apart, and I love actually how Kressler approaches that because do you have tape in your glasses? And Don Johnson just and they kind of just let it go. But
I did think it was kind of a goofy thing to point out. That happens to people. They do lose
screws
in their glasses.
Well, he also kind of points out that why don't you have a winter coat like when he is up there, he's freezing his ass off. And
he's one of those guys who points out obvious crap. Is what he is. Yeah,
which is why he was hilarious.
My character. I don't like swearing, and I point out useless things.
Yeah.
I did notice though, for somebody that's supposed to be an alcoholic, you don't see him drinking much in this movie.
Not after the opening, at the beginning.
Not after he throws up.
Oh, and by the way, that may be. I don't know if they actually got him to throw up for real. That was one of the best of puking effects for this. It was simple, but it looked like when it kind of shoots through his hand.
Yeah,
that looked real, dude. That looked like he was not acting. Looked like he really threw up.
It's a fun scene.
Peter, it's a fun scene.
It is a
fun it was scene. Gross. It was
that too.
He doesn't like it in his porn, but he doesn't mind it in his action movies.
Okay.
Wow.
Actually, you may have that backwards.
That's what.
Yucky.
No, it holds up. I like this movie. It's a fun one.
Well, I will say that for me, I'm probably in the camp with Maggie's friend Matt. Right? You said his name's Matt.
Uncle Matt, say hello.
Uncle Matt. I think I remember liking it quite a bit. Like I saw it a few times when I was a kid, and rewatching it, I liked it. It's not like I came away from, but I saw a lot more of the warts and the flaws, and I'm like, okay, that doesn't.
I'm thinking, wait, warts? It had warts?
Literal warts. Yeah. That was on Ron Jeremy though.
I was just going there. You saw that when it hung up over the bunk and the guy underneath.
Oh, people that are not seeing this on video, they're missing so much.
Yep. Oh, maybe we shouldn't do like that. It should be more like this.
Oh, really, Peter? Good Lord. Sorry. Okay. Maggie's like, I am never doing this show again. You're disgusting.
Yes, you will.
Oh, come on. You can't scare me off.
No, of course not. Well, then, do we have any final thoughts as far as the movie goes? Anything else you want to say, Mags, before we sail off into the
Don Johnson should be in more films. He was awesome. I think he's a seriously underrated talent.
Yeah, he is good. Yeah. He really is good.
Really good.
Yep.
I agree with that.
That's my final
I liked in Hot Shots too. He was kind of like it was a sweaty movie too, like this one. So not just
he was sweaty in Miami Vice.
Yeah. Well, that's a sweaty show, right?
Why are we talking? Daryl, make them stop. They're talking about sweat. It's making me uncomfortable.
Well, gonna make you sweat till you bleed. Is that dope enough? Indeed.
Oh,
right. Right.
Stop it.
I pay the price to control the dice. I'm all precise.
No.
To the point, I'm nice.
No. No.
Maggie knows. Okay.
No.
No.
All right.
I think we've talked about the movie. I mean, it's
Did we?
There's not a lot of substance. It's like it's not profound. There's not a lot of substance to it. It could have been a better film, but it's still an entertaining movie to watch. Like you'd watch it on a Friday night with a beer, right? Or
Yeah.
Or if you're me, a Diet Coke.
Indeed.
Or whiskey sour for me.
Yeah, what'd you say?
A whiskey sour.
A whiskey sour for me.
Whiskey. I know what that is.
Yeah.
I'm glad
Have you had one? Have you had one?
No.
Never
had one. We've established I'm a teetotaler. We've established
Yeah,
this.
we know. We know.
I know.
You get the sugar sweats instead.
I do. Yeah. Well, actually, I don't even do much sugar, believe it or not. Yeah.
Okay, so you get the sweats.
Coffee. No? I do coffee. That's my right in the vein.
I actually asked the nurse if I could have coffee intravenously at one point, and she said, "Yeah, you could." But
I would advise against. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then on that note, Maggie, would you like to tell everyone where they can find you online?
They can't. I just come here and annoy you three every so often. Like,
because you are a smart
it's
person.
2 in the morning. I send you a message
you're never annoying.
Let me come and play.
Yes. Well, you're also smart to not be online because it's a hellscape with everyone.
Well, you kind of have to steer.
Yeah. At some point, I think movie writing is going to start again at some point, but I've been saying that for 3 years and I've still not done it. So I'm just going to come and hang out with you guys.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, Daryl, where can they find you then? Besides leaning too close to the camera.
There's some nice porcelain figurines in the background. Are those the figurines in the background there? Those porcelain things? Are those? Did you buy
those?
They're
the kind that grandma collects. You know, the little.
Literally, yes, she did.
Yeah. Oh, really? That's your grandmother's? Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes. I was just messing with you.
I like it.
I couldn't even tell what they were. I thought it was like something from.
No. The one right behind his ear there.
Oh, I see.
All of those they're older than all of us.
Oh,
all of those.
Even Peter?
Yes, even Peter.
Oh my God!
I know. Crazy.
People didn't see that. They heard it though. This one and this one.
Yes, thank you, Peter. Thank you. So, Darryl, where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook under my name, Darryl Taylor. You can find me on whatever the hell that X shit is.
Yeah, what's up with that?
X?
You can find me on Instagram. It's the same thing.
I thought it'd make you happy that it's now named after like a porn rating.
No.
I thought you were going with Malcolm there, but okay.
I thought he was too.
I wasn't bigot. I thought
he was. I would have respected you more if you had done the Malcolm.
Okay, all right. That's true. That would have been funnier.
Yes, it would have been. No, you can find me on all those things. You can look up Taylor Network Podcast, and you can find podcasts on that as well. And on the Patreon as well. You can find them there.
Okay. And Peter?
Well, here in my bedroom.
Yes.
Yeah. And on Turn the Tube. With TV movies from two from the 90s now.
Yeah, well, one of those was.
Well, people will find out soon. And then, let's see, Forgotten Flicks. They can go back to that, and they can go to the social media. And not much on the X's though, but Instagram.
But on sex.
Not much about that either.
Oh, okay. You're not
married, okay?
Okay.
Calm down, horny boy.
Okay. Well, then, if that is all, Peter.
No, actually, I'm gearing up to record a new episode with Hugh on
cool.
Bookie. So
tell me
finally.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yes.
Actually, next week.
Nice. I can be found, Peter. Turn the Tube with you and Allison. Reviewing a really, really not great 1994 movie starring Ali Sheedy. But that shall remain unnamed.
Oh, I gotta. I'm ready for this.
Oh boy! Yikes!
Joel was a douche on that.
More so than usual.
Yeah,
it was Ali Sheedy. That's the point, right? It was Ali Sheedy, so you'd be like, "Oh, cool," and not so much. And you of course Forgotten Flicks, as you mentioned, Jay the Dead's new horror movies. That would be the other podcast I was talking about, Maggie.
Yeah.
And of course,
So like, not even.
And of course, if you're watching this right here on Mom and Pop Video Shop, be sure to subscribe and like and all that crap that YouTube people say.
Yeah, so we can be seen more, apparently.
Yeah, we need to be seen here. We want to be seen.
What the kids are saying. That's what the kids say.
Like and subscribe. That's what the kids are saying.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But then I guess on that note, any final thoughts?
You've asked us about that.
No, I meant like actual, like the final thought before I usually kick us off.
Oh, I was thinking, what the hell do I put in the show notes for this? Dicks?
Really? That's what I get for a final thought, like a final word, a final. Okay, oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I realized I just screwed it up. I usually say any. I'm so used to doing this audio based. I say any final words, not thought. Dummy. Any final words?
I could say something, but it would be offensive.
Yeah, you wrote thoughts on the thing, then.
Yeah, I know. That's what threw me off. I kept looking at that. I'm like, it's thoughts, isn't it? No, it's words. All right, let's try that again. Any final words? Wow, you guys suck.
I was gonna say it, and then you cut me off. See?
What was it? What was it?
I was gonna say, I guess I would stay for breakfast with Don Johnson after one night stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you've gone to the effort of putting your tights back on.
Yeah.
Especially.
And he had the sweats.
Thanks for listening. Visit RetroMovieGeek.com and be sure to leave us voicemail feedback. You can share your thoughts by calling 484-577-3876. That's 484-57-RETRO.